World building is the best thing to happen to action figures since Hasbro took over, or since when Toys R Us got exiled from the country. World building is the best thing to happen to action figure collecting since Disney took over Star Wars. Just kidding. We all know that Hasbro is very toxic to the toy community, and we all know that Disney destroyed Star Wars. And RIP to all the Toys R Us that got exiled across the country. If you're world building, or you're thinking about world building and you want to start world building and you don't know where to start, thank you for clicking on this video. Hopefully I could get you in a gear. Everybody knows the most important part of world building is its civilization, the people we populate our worlds with, or the action figures we populate our worlds with. For all the veterans and citizens that are here on Sky Bottom Station, everyone knows that Sky Bottom Station is all about 3.75 world building. In this video, I will show you my top 5 favorite action figure lines that helped me build Sky Bottom Station. Starting this video off with number 5, we have Final Faction. Final Faction is an action figure line that is exclusive to the Dollar Tree, and yes, these figures are $1.25. If you want to get into world building and you want to start populating your city or your station or your world, hit up the Dollar Tree. Spend about $10 and there you go. These figures are good for custom fodder if you're practicing. If you've never painted a figure and you want some experience points, go ahead and buy a few of these guys from Dollar Tree and start practicing your techniques. Final Faction has humans and they have an alien race known as the Karn. One of my favorite things about Final Faction is building a Karn swarm. So just a little heads up, if you want to get to world building and you can't afford some of the higher end figures, the Dollar Tree is always a good foundation. Coming in at number 4, we have Star Wars: The Power of the Force and Star Wars: The Vintage Collection. The Power of the Force and the Vintage Collection are tied for 4th because they're the same franchise. We all know that Sky Bottom Station is a sci-fi civilization and its foundation of characters and its fodder are Star Wars. And the reason why these guys are so low on the list is because I believe that there's other figures out there that could help make your civilization more unique. When it comes to Star Wars: The Vintage Collection or The Power of the Force, I'm usually popping these guys' heads off and putting something else on them. So Star Wars figures are really great for custom figures. If you have a figure from, let's say, Jurassic Park: The Hammond Collection and you want to convert them into something sci-fi, you could get a Star Wars: The Vintage Collection or a Power of the Force body and start doing some kit bashes. If I had to choose one, the Power of the Force or the Vintage Collection, I'm going with the Power of the Force. The variety, the history, the nostalgia, and just what it does for me, the Vintage Collection cannot replace that. From the background characters to all the older accessories and vehicles, the Power of the Force is dominant over the Vintage Collection. Changed my mind. At number 3, we have Reaction, made by Super 7. For those of you that don't know what Reaction is or have never heard of Reaction, they are 5 points of articulated figures. They have the retro aesthetic and they have a variety of figures throughout all of pop culture history. The reason why Reaction is one of my favorite figures is because I love the aesthetic of the retro sci-fi. And the way that I could capture that is with the retro aesthetic of Super 7 Reaction. You can find these figures at Target, usually in the collector's corner, or you could usually buy them online. I usually get mine online and on eBay. They are a little bit pricey, about $15 to $20 a figure, but if you're world building and you want some of your favorite characters from pop culture to live in your own creation, Reaction by Super 7 is the way to go. At number 2, we have Acid Rain. Acid Rain is by far some of the most impressive some of the most impressive action figures I've ever seen. If you want your toys to feel alive and to have a personality, there's nothing better than Acid Rain. From the articulation and the accessories and the details these figures have, right out the box, they're ready for world building. Acid Rain is a company from China, and Kit Lau, he's the creator and he's an artist himself. So these figures have love and just perfection. If you could afford Acid Rain, I highly recommend it. If you can't afford Acid Rain, I suggest you start with some of the cheaper products from them, like the Field Fleas or even some of the accessories. These are Field Fleas from Acid Rain, and the detail that these figures have are pretty good, and one of my favorite parts is the little baby inside. This Field Flea is called the Babysitter, and this is the only baby here alive on Sky Bottom Station. We made it to number 1. My absolute favorite action figure line to collect to world build is Empire Toy Works. For those of you that don't know Empire Toy Works, he makes custom 3.75 accessories and playsets, all handcrafted, and these are all made of solid resin. These are pretty sturdy, durable, and these will last forever. This Spaceport Market Droid was my first ever piece by Empire Toy Works that I got last year, and it's my absolute favorite. The detail, the color, just the little food he has in there was just perfect. I love how his work is universal. I love how it's handcrafted, one-of-a-kind pieces. I love how you could fit this with anything. It doesn't have to be sci-fi. It could be Western, it could be dinosaurs. Empire Toy Works, he found a way to make something that could fit in any world. And that's why his work is my favorite. Yes, you know, we're starting to get hot again. As soon as you see a few honorable mentions is Joy Toy. The reason why Joy Toy did not make the list is because this is my only Joy Toy figure. And I cannot make an accurate review on Joy Toy by one figure. Joy Toy is very similar to Acid Rain. If you can't afford Acid Rain, I suggest maybe giving Joy Toy a try. Another honorable mention is Haya Toys, and they also make sci-fi. They make Predator, Alien, Judge Dredd, a lot of other cult classic movies. But this right here is my only Haya Toys item as well, so I can't really make an accurate review on Haya. But based off of what I got, this is an excellent figure. Another honorable mention is the Marvel 3.75 retro figures. You could usually find these peg warming at Target, Walmart, about $10. So if you can't find anything 3.75, if they're sold out of vintage collection, which they usually are, pick up a couple of these Marvel figures and see how you feel about those. My last honorable mention are Wacky Packages, World's Smallest, and Mini Brands. Wacky Packages, Mini Brands, you could put these in the background to fill up your shops, your homes. If you're making a store, these fit perfectly on the shelf. They're a little bit big for 3.75, but perspective is key. So when you have these on a shelf in the background, they work. I want to see your guys' work. Follow me on Instagram at Skybottom Station. Follow the Multigalactic Trade Route. Share your work. I want to see your guys' worlds. I want to see what you guys are out there creating. Thank you and welcome to Skybottom Station.